Yeah, 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 uh, uh, yeah, yeah, it's your boy E-Man, Falcons Fandemic, we on that plan, all the hype in the city, let me break it down, Atlanta Falcons, wear the crown, cruising down Peachtree in my Falcons gear, pockets on the speakers, E-Man's here, covering the news, all the buzz on the block, Fandemic family, yeah, we can't be stopped, yeah.
Oh, what's up, Falcon family, my Dirty Bird Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, a show built for the fans and by the fans. Guys, the Atlanta Falcons news out of bye week has been anything but quiet, involving a huge trade proposal and a key injury update. But the biggest headlines out of Flowery Branch involves the rumored proposed trade for the frustrated Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Jakobi Meyers. And people may wonder, why do we need another wide receiver? We got 7 wide receivers already on the roster, and not counting the receivers that we have on the practice squad. Nick Nash, Chris Blair. And I know we got at least 3, maybe even 4 that's on the practice squad. So people are wondering why. But the Falcons could possibly be making a shocking move that could redefine their this 2025 season, and the player involved isn't who you think. This trade involves, you have the 1 to 2, and it's not a trade per se. Well, yeah, it is, because it involves a draft pick, but it's a much needed move. But the trade provides a game-changing weapon for Michael Penix Jr., flipping the script on the entire offensive strategy. It gives a total new look if Jakobi Meyers joins the Atlanta Falcons. Reports are circulating that the Atlanta Falcons are being advised to pursue a trade for the Los Angeles Raiders wide receiver Jakobi Meyers, especially, and this is the reason why this is it, especially in light of the struggle and the injury concerns surrounding Falcons wide receiver Darnell Mooney. Excuse me. But Falcon fans, let's keep it a buck. The Atlanta offense is on the verge of greatness. On paper, we're one of the best in the league, if not the best. But there's one critical gap that still remains. It takes more than talent to win a championship. It takes the right players and the right system at the right time. The Atlanta Falcons have a collection of offensive talent that should make defenses nervous. You got a dynamic duo and all running back, Bijan Robinson, a true number 1 wideout in Drake London, a unicorn of a tight end in Kyle Pitts, and now a young quarterback with a cannon for an arm in Michael Penix Jr. All of them first-round picks, hand-selected to build an explosive modern offense. So why does it feel like this offense still one piece away from being a true NFC contender? Why does the offense still look so disjointed? Now, I know I did a video last week and I pointed all fingers at Zach Robinson, but even when things were going great, it was still looking kind of offish, like there was no chemistry, like there was no scheme to the play calling. Now, I don't know if that was because players weren't making the right moves, running the right routes, or the play just didn't fit the situation. But the offense, week after week, can still feel predictable and stall in the biggest moments. It's a maddening cycle for us Falcon fans who see all this talent, but can't figure out why this happens far too often. Well, the answer might not be another top 10 pick or a flashy free agent. It might be a quiet, unassuming technician who has consistently been one of the most reliable players in the league. This is a thought experiment, a what-if scenario. What if the Falcons made a move for a player who specializes in the exact things this young offense needs the most? Well, let's talk about it. Let's discover how Jakobi Meyers, a unique blend of reliable hands, versatile route running, and a quiet leadership could be the catalyst that transformed the Falcons from a good team into a truly unstoppable force. Now, we've said that before, even before this talk of Jakobi Meyers came available, right? We talked about our offense being that unstoppable force with weapons at all sides. But when you have a player like Darnell Mooney, and we're going to get into this further down, but when you have a player like Darnell Mooney, who has all the tangibles you need for a weapon at the wideout, but he can't stay healthy. But like I said, we're going to get into that. But there's also a nagging problem. You know, for all its high-end talent, the offense still feels predictable. It leans heavily on its stars to win one-on-one battles, namely Drake London, Bijan Robinson. When defenses manage to bracket London or bottle up Robinson, the drives can stall. What they're missing is the stabilizing force, a high IQ player who doesn't need the spotlight, but who makes life easier for everyone, especially Michael Penix Jr. They need a chain mover, a quarterback's best friend, a guy who just gets the job done. This offense screams for the exact prototype of a player like Jakobi Meyers. And for those of you who don't follow him closely, Jakobi Meyers has built his whole career on being criminally underrated. An undrafted free agent, he has done nothing but produce everywhere he's been. He became the top receiver in not New Orleans. Oh, that tasted nasty. He became the top receiver in New England through pure grit and technique. And after moving to the Raiders, he continued to be a highly productive and reliable target. As of 2025 of this month, Jakobi Meyers is a Raider, but he's also a player who has requested a trade and is on an expiring contract. The Raiders, after a slow start, might just become sellers at this point. I mean, you talk about a golden opportunity for a team like us. Right now, that offense is surrounded with two great tight ends that has become the focus of their offense. So where does that leave a player like Jakobi Meyers? But Jakobi Meyers isn't just another receiver. He's the specific answer to the specific problems holding the Falcons offense back. And today, going to break it all down. His versatile skill set, reliable hands, and I mean, we're just not adding another weapon. He's not just another weapon on this team. Jakobi's skill set will fundamentally fix the entire Falcon scheme. But before we get into this solution, you have to understand the core of the problem for us Falcons. The Falcons offense under coordinator Zach Robinson has flashes of brilliance, but just can't find its rhythm. And that might be the word I was just looking for earlier. Instead of the chemistry, it was the rhythm. It seems like Zach Robinson is just calling plays. So if he's going to do that, we're going to have surefire players in place where those plays look like a rhythm. They have a clear identity in the run game with Bijan and the vertical threats. But where does it all fall apart? It happens in those predictable drive-killing situations, and we have plenty of them. First, let's talk about the third downs. Far too often, the Falcons find themselves in third and medium, and defenses knows exactly what's coming. They can afford to afford to bracket over Drake London or double Kyle Pitts, basically daring anyone else to win a one-on-one matchup with timing and precision. Now, while Darnell Mooney can stretch the field, I mean, he's a dynamic talent, but the offense is missing that dedicated veteran chain mover who can consistently win in the short to intermediate area. This leads to stalled drives and forces rookie quarterback Michael Penix Jr. to rely on his top stars making superhuman plays. Now, we do still have Cordero Hodge, which he's been injured, but not used in the offense anyway. We used to have Chris Blair, who we thought was going to fill that spot. Now, we know, like I said, Darnell Mooney can take the top off of a defense. But what if Drake London is that guy that we use to take the top off the defense, but we have no one underneath? Yeah, we have Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts is going to be doubled in those third and shorts. So we need that one more player that sure player with the versatility, the sure hands, and the playmaker at that third spot. Second, the offense can become rigid. Zach Robinson comes from the Sean McVay coaching tree, an offense that lives on creating mismatches with motion and versatile players like Jakobi Meyers. While the Falcons use this motion, they lack the one guy who truly makes it sing, a receiver who just as dangerous from the slot as he is from the outside. And that will make Jakobi Meyers so versatile. Without that player, it's easier for the defensive coordinators to diagnose the formation. London is primarily the X. Pitts or either Darnell are the movable chess pieces, but there isn't that dedicated guy who can dictate coverage from the inside and just get open. This creates a domino effect. Defenses can play it safe, keep everything in front of them, and commit their resources to stopping our two key weapons, London and Kyle Pitts. Now we saw from the last game where we were able to use Bijan out in the flat, right, creating one-on-one situation. And most times than not, Bijan wins that battle. But what happens when we are known to use that play consistently? Defenses will make the adjustment, and instead of dropping back, instead of taking off that double team, they send a linebacker or maybe a safety down to cover and double Bijan coming out the backfield. And then where you're left with. So you have one player that's going to stop, two on Kyle Pitts, one that's going to safety that's going to blanket Drake London with a corner, and then you slide another safety over to Bijan or another linebacker, a fast linebacker out there on Bijan. Then what are we left with? We haven't started using Michael Penix yet with his legs. We haven't started that. So now we're left with trying to figure out who's going to be that other guy, right? And Darnell Mooney seemingly was supposed to be that other guy. But guess what? He has been hurt. He hasn't been available, right? And like I said, we're going to talk about that in a minute. So let's give it some more time. We're definitely going to get into it. I'm going to break it down, right? So the domino effect, like I said, the defense plays it safe. They keep everything in front of them without letting anybody who can take the top off of defense behind them and stopping, and their whole agenda would be to stopping London and Pitts. So we need that one extra player. But the single most defining trait of Jakobi Meyers is his almost supernatural ability to get open. He's what coaches call a quarterback-friendly target, a guy who just understands leverage, space, and timing, and almost better than anyone. That Swiss Army knife. This makes him an absolute machine at moving the chains. In 2024, he proves he can be a high-value target, posting a career-high 87 catches for 1,027 yards. Right? There was this one play, and it stands out because every highlight reel you look at, whether it's with the Raiders or with the with New England, it's a third down play, and it's eerily similar. Because both of these plays, whether it's a highlight reel from the Patriots or a highlight reel from the Raiders, it's a third down play. But this one happened from the Raiders. It's 3rd and 7, a classic must down. The defense is showing two high safeties, probably a zone. Meyers is in the slot. At the snap, he doesn't just sprint. He uses his super subtle step release that freezes the nickel corner for a split second. Then he drafts into that soft spot where the linebacker and the safety throttles down and shows his numbers to the quarterback. The ball's on time. He snags it with his famous reliable hands, and it's an easy first down. That's an easy read for Michael Penix Jr. Easy read. People say, well, what if we put Kyle Pitts in the slot? But guess what? If Kyle Pitts is playing tight end, it really doesn't matter which one we put. If we put Kyle Pitts at tight end and put Jakobi Meyers at the wide, either way, it's the same result. Maybe run a different route, but it's the same result. If you double Kyle Pitts, especially if they're playing on the same side, if you double Kyle Pitts, that makes it even easier for Jakobi Meyers. right? But this stuff isn't just about making headlines. It's about absolute wins in football games. While calling his drop rate practically zero might be an exaggeration, he has been praised by coaches for his elite concentration and exceptionally reliable hands. He's a super pass catcher. I'm sorry, he's a natural pass catcher who knows not just his own route, but what the entire defense is doing. He fills the voids in the zone and is crafty enough to create separation against man. For a Falcons offense and a rookie quarterback that needs a guy to go-to guy on third down, this skill isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. We have to make this happen. I mean, most teams have tight ends that they can undoubtedly use as another weapon. We haven't gotten there yet. Although we have them, we have tight ends that can do that. But for some reason, Zach Robinson has not used that in his schemes. So what happens if once those tight ends become a weapon for us? That's a whole new different video, guys. I'm telling you, we have in this offense, our tight ends have to be a vital part, whether it's Kyle Pitts, Charlie Warner, or Teagan. Teagan and Charlie Warner are very reliable tight ends. They have hands just as good as well as Kyle Pitts. They might not have the speed, but they both have that knack of getting open. Both of them are blocking tight ends, but they also have that knack to go run routes and getting open. They've done it in previous times on their previous teams. Now, the second trait that makes Meyers a scheme fixer is his incredible versatility. He isn't just a slot guy or an outside receiver. He's a legitimately both. The Raiders use him all over the formation, and that's the very thing that could complete Zach Robinson's offense. Robinson's scheme needs players who aren't locked into one spot to create a consistent matchup. Now, picture this in Atlanta. You can have London, Pitts, Bijan, and Meyers, and on a great play call, also Charlie Warner on the field all at the same time. Where does the defense's best corner go? You put him on London, and Meyers gets a winnable matchup. You try to bracket Pitts, and Meyers is again in a one-on-one situation. His ability to line up anywhere, slot, outside, even in the backfield, makes the offense totally unpredictable before the snap. That's the core of the McVay-Robinson offense. Create chaos for the defense pre-snap to create simplicity for your quarterback post-snap. Meyers is the engine for that chaos. That little play that we like to run, that Zach like to run, that in and around. Jakobi Meyers makes this play work. I've never liked that idea of having the receiver do that in and around. Not all receivers can do that. Jakobi Meyers can do that. Julio Jones made that play work. But Jakobi Meyers is another guy that can make this play work as well. He's not that speedster guy that's going to break, but he can make plays work, all because of his versatility and his skill set. This brings us to the final and maybe most important point. Jakobi Meyers doesn't just get himself open. His presence on the field gets everyone else open. He has what analysts call schematic gravity. Because he is so dangerous in the intermediate part of the field, defenses have to account for him. This is the multiplier effect. Right now in Atlanta, defenses can comfortably scheme to take away London and Pitts. But if you add Meyers to the equation, that math completely changes. Defenses can no longer afford to double team anyone. If you bracket London, Meyers will eat you alive over the middle. If you commit two guys to stopping Pitts or London, you're leaving someone else in a one-on-one situation they were built to win, like Jakobi Meyers. He would take so much pressure off Atlanta's other stars and giving them the opportunity and space that they were drafted to dominate in. The offense becomes less of a high wire act and more of a methodical, efficient machine. Those frustrating 3-and-outs that we fall into all the time are turned into sustained drives. The red zone offense is more potent because the field is spread. Bijan Robinson sees lighter boxes because linebackers have to respect the play action to Meyers. Drake London gets more one-on-one deep shots, and Kyle Pitts and Bijan get more space to work the seams. It makes life easier for everyone, especially a young quarterback. When you have a player like a Jakobi Meyers who goes out and does the job, who sells the plays and runs the trees right, he draws attention. It may even get to the point where they feel like they have to double Jakobi Meyers, depending on whether or not he's on who else is on the field with him. Now, what would be the motivation for this trade? What would it take for Jakobi Meyers to end up in Atlanta? There was one trade proposal from shout out to Bleacher Report for putting this out there. Berto from 95 North Falcons content. Great content from those guys. If you haven't already done so, please feel the need to go over there and grab up some more deals. There are a lot of Falcon content creators, guys, that put out great content for us to follow. If I don't bring it to you guys, I'm sure that they will bring it out probably before I will. I don't get on here as much as I used to, but they have great content as well. But one proposal that was brought forward was that the Atlanta Falcons would receive wide receiver Jakobi Meyers and potentially a 2026 round draft pick in an alternate proposal, and potentially a 2026 draft pick. Now, the trade will be Los Angeles Raiders will receive the Atlanta Falcons 2026 fourth round pick or a 2025 fourth round pick in an alternate proposal. So either way, Los Angeles Raiders gets a fourth round pick from us, and we will receive Jakobi Meyers and a 2026 sixth round pick. That's not a bad deal, guys, for not having to trade away a player. But this deal is proposed because Meyers is in the final year of a 3-year deal worth $10.5 million, with $33 million total value with his current team. The Raiders have a 1-3 record, making a trade a sensible option as he is an impeding free agent. But for the Falcons, the cost is considered reasonable for a proven, consistent player who could immediately boost their offense and the push to contend in the NFC. He adds one more weapon. Now, like I said earlier, we already have 7 receivers on the active roster, with 4 more receivers on the practice squad. So who will be the odd man out? Who becomes expendable? Now, if Jakobi Meyers does his job, then I mean, if this deal happens, he comes in, does his job. The wide receiver who will most likely become expendable or see a significant reduction in role if we acquire Jakobi Meyers is Darnell Mooney. Especially, like I said, especially if Jakobi performs as expected. Now, here's the reasoning based on a current situation and the proposed role for Meyers. You guys, I mean, I see a lot of you are like turning your eyebrows up, and wondering like, where are you going with this? For what reason? If we got 7 receivers, why would we want to bring on another one? But Jakobi Meyers' role is he's consistently described as an excellent complementary receiver and is projected to be the team's reliable number 2 alongside Drake London. He excels in route running and provides a dependable target, meaning he draws attention. He draws the heat away from Darnell Mooney. I'm not Darnell Mooney, from Drake London, excuse me. Now, Darnell Mooney, his current status and his role, Mooney currently holds a starting wide receiver spot on the Falcons depth chart next to London. However, he has struggled with consistency and has dealt with injuries. Acquiring a proven number 2 like Meyers would easily fill the role that Mooney was expected to step into, making his presence less essential. Now, if the Falcons acquire Myers, the top 3 receivers will likely be Drake London, Jakobi Meyers, Darnell Mooney. I mean, but that move would shift Mooney down the depth chart. And depending on the Falcons' long-term plans, his salary and lack of early season production would make him a candidate for a trade or significantly reduced role, thus making him the most expendable of the starting caliber receivers. Now, other receivers like Ray McLeod would likely remain in their specialized roles, primarily because of his play in slot and as a return specialist. And he too will be further down the depth chart behind London, Myers, and Mooney. But anyway, my whole thought on why this deal needs to happen. And let's talk injuries first, right? Let's talk injuries first before we get into that. Darnell Mooney, injured with the Chicago Bears prior to joining the Atlanta Falcons, includes several notable issues. Let's pull up Darnell Mooney's injury. I'm going to let y'all see this yourselves, right? But like I said, he missed one game, which was a playoff game in 2021. Mooney played in all 17 regular season games, but later revealed he played through a groin injury. Right now, all these number ones that you see in here, these are all happening during that same year, right? For the entire, no, I'm sorry, not for the same year, but let's see, yeah. But he also appeared on the injury report with a foot injury in late 2021. So that's 2 injuries in 2021, and he also played through the whole year without saving. And this is why some coaches have to save some players from themselves, right? And I get it. They had a wild card playoff, and he really wanted to play, but it got worse, right? So that's 2 injuries right there. In 2022, he missed no regular season games. However, he suffered an ankle injury in Week 12 against the New York Jets, which required season-ending surgery, being placed on injury reserve. That same year, let's see, he missed 5 regular season games. Something don't sound right there, but he missed 5 regular season games and missed weeks 13 through 17. Right, going on into, and that was for, let's see, it doesn't say why he missed those 5 games. I don't know if he was suspended for something or not, but no, because this is for an injury report, so it has to go through. I wonder if it was the knee. It might have been a knee injury he sustained. But anyway, 2023, he sustained a concussion. He missed 2 regular season games. He missed the final 2 games of the season. In total, Darnell missed a combined 7 regular season games and 1 playoff game while with the Chicago Bears due to injury. The regular season games missed were 5 in 2022 and 2 in 2023. What makes this so notable was his chances of injury or re-injury in 2025 at 84%, which is very high. Every game has a 10% chance of getting hurt. He's projected to miss at least 2 games this year, and he's already missed that, I think. 2.38 games, and he has a durability of 5, right? And the ability to produce despite relatively minor injuries are 5 being the most durable. So, but this says minor injuries, right? Minor injuries can be just about anything, a hurt shoulder, a twisted ankle. And like I said, those are considered minor injuries, right? And according to NFL standards, but he still has a durability grade of 5. Okay. And if you take a look at his history, I mean, he's heard, let's see, he's a thigh hamstring, let's see, hamstring pull sprain, ankle sprain, July 24th, he has a shoulder injury. And this is all this year. Right now, this is where he's at. He's a hamstring and hamstring pull right now. July 24th, he suffered a shoulder injury, which kept him out one game. January the 2nd, another shoulder injury. He missed one game. November the 17th, 2024, another hamstring pull. December 27th, 2023, he had that concussion like we spoke of. Well, yeah, like we spoke of. Had a bruised knee, and that was that knee injury I was talking about. September the 2023, November 2022, he had a ankle injury which required surgery. He had a groin strain in 2021, a lower back strain, lumbar strain, 2021, and again in 2001 he had another ankle sprain. So as you can see, and I mean his list is pretty substantial, guys. I mean, and this is not saying that he couldn't bounce back from this, or he didn't bounce back from this, because we saw the flashes of what he could still produce, right? So now let's look at Jakobi Meyers injury guide, and his chances of injury are that's 68%, still high, but not as high as Darnell. But injuries are part of the game. I get that. You can't predict injury, right? I really don't know honestly how they came up with these numbers. But I mean, it is what it is. His chances of injury are very low, 6.5%. Projected games missed this season, like relatively the same as Darnell, same durability grade. So you talk about two players that are almost relatively the same. They can bring you the same results on the field. The only thing is that separates Jakobi and Martin. Actually, it's two things. Myers has that knack for getting open, right? And then also, two, Myers is one of the I don't know if you would say the bottom of the league, top of the league when it comes to. No, he was bottom of the league when it comes to catches. He has the least amount of drop balls in the NFL. I know he's in the top. He's one of the top three that has the lowest percentage of drop balls in the NFL. But guys, this is why I think this has happened. I think Jakobi is a slight upgrade. Not saying that he's a huge upgrade, but he's definitely and Jakobi Meyers' injuries. I mean, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4. He's had 5 injuries himself, and he's missed just as many games because of those injuries. One of the knee sprain, ankle sprain. He had a concussion as well. He's had 2 concussions. And let's see, and another ankle sprain. So, like I said, and he missed 2 games because of that. So, like I said, they've had the same amount of injuries. So I say the same amount of injuries, the same missed amount of games, surely a different amount of injuries. Darnell wins that hands down, but they probably missed the same amount of games. Let's look back at Darnell's. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. So Darnell has missed a significant amount of time, right? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So, like I said, relatively the same. You talk about 2 relatively the same players. Like I said, the only 2 things that I take that are different from them is Jakobi had that knack for getting open. He's one of these players that you cannot cheat from, right? And he also, you have to account for him on the field. The other thing is he has the least amount of percentage drop balls, in the NFL. But guys, in conclusion, the Falcon fans, Jakobi Meyers recently requested a trade. The Raiders, citing his value to the team, said that they would jump on. But everybody is saying that the Atlanta should make this move. And I agree. Not saying that Darnell Mooney is not worthy or he couldn't stay on and be valuable to the team. But from what Jakobi Meyers is doing, has done, and has been successful in, it makes all the sense in the world. I love Darnell Mooney. I love the fact that he can stretch the field. You know, I love the fact that he can take the top off of defense. But one thing is for sure, guys, we do not need another Troy Anderson on the team. You can have all the skill in the world and be the best at your position. But if you are not available when your team needs you, you may as well not be there. And that's not taking nothing from either Troy Anderson or Darnell Mooney, because I love them both. But we need to have you on the field. It's a business. It's a business, and I mean, it's not a business that no one likes to do. But you have to keep building this team, you know. And it's like Terry Fontenot said, the excess is the team's best asset, right? You got to have people that can be on the field when called upon. All right. But guys, I thank you all so much for joining me for this breakdown. In the comments, guys, give me a yay or nay on this deal. Let me know what you guys think. Y'all already know I answered all your comments. So, but like I said, give me a comment whether you know, are you saying yay to this deal? You're saying nay to this deal? What would you give for them? Do the trade proposal sound right? Let me go back and read the trade proposal. Let me go back just to remind you. Let's see. The trade proposal is the Atlanta will receive wide receiver Jakobi Meyers and potentially a 2026 sixth-round pick in an alternate proposal, and Las Vegas Raiders will receive Atlanta's 2024 fourth-round pick or a 2025 fourth-round pick in an alternate proposal. So either way, Atlanta wins this. And you're not talking about a player for player. We're not talking about releasing Mooney. Although Atlanta would have to make a decision on whether or not to keep somebody or release somebody. But I think it's a good deal going forward. I know we have young guys in there, Nick Nash, Chris Blair. But obviously Atlanta is not seeing the worth of these players. But hopefully they can see the worth in Jakobi Meyers. But that's another story, guys. But like I said, guys, I thank you guys for joining me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you approve this deal? Veto this deal? Let me know. And once again, guys, thank you guys for following Atlanta Falcons Pandemic. And as always, rise up.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's your boy E-Man. Falcons Pandemic, we on that plan. All the hype in the city, let me break it down. Atlanta Falcons, wear the crown.